In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to use groupings within your NetSchool course. People use groupings for a variety of reasons, but one of the most popular reasons is to have students who have certain accommodations see resources that the rest of the classes cannot see, or if they take a different test than the rest of the class takes. In order to show you how to create groupings, I'm going to use our cool Web 2.0 tools. The reason I'm going to use that is to protect the privacy of students, because only teachers are enrolled in cool Web 2.0 tools. So in order to do this, I'm going to click over here where it says groups. Now you're going to have a group and a grouping called the same thing. So the first thing we're going to do is create a group, and this first group, let's say you can call it oral admin if that's what you plan on using this specific group for, or you can call it group A if they take an accommodated test. I typically call it group A for accommodated and group M for modified, and maybe even group alt for alternative. I'm not going to put an enrollment key because students do not enroll themselves in this group. I'm going to manually assign them. So I'm going to go ahead and save changes, and then I'm going to go ahead and create another group, and I'm going to call this one group M for taking a modified test. I'm going to go ahead and save changes again, no enrollment key. So you'll see these are just a group like all the other groups. So this would normally be where you'd have first period, second period, third period. Now I'm going to go in and assign people to this group. So I'm going to click on group A and add members to it. And here are all the members that are already enrolled in my course. So I'm going to go ahead and move over, let's say Jessica, and I'll move Tiffany over, and Ashley. Okay, so now I have 3 students in group A, meaning these 3 students take the accommodated test. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for group M. I'm going to add members to my modified students. Now I can choose out of all the students enrolled in my course who's going to be in that group. So let me go ahead and assign Sarah and Angie. Okay, now notice when I click on the name, it shows me which group they're already a part of, so it'll show me first period, second period. But these students now are part of 2 groups, so they're part of their original class period, and then they're also part of this in addition. You can take them out of their original class period if you want, but really if they're just seeing an additional resource, you can just add them to this group. So now we're going to go to groupings, and we're going to create a grouping for each of those. So the first one I'm going to call group A, save changes, and then I'm going to create another grouping called group M. Okay, now I'm going to populate who I want to show up in this grouping. So for group A, I want to add just the students in that group. So now it says that group A is also part of grouping A, and I'm going to do the same thing for M. I know this part seems redundant, but depending on how you use groupings, it's necessary to go through that extra step. So you can see group A, everybody in group A is part of grouping A, and everybody in group M is also part of grouping M. So as far as groupings go, you're completely set up. So now is the easy part. When you go to add resources, you can select it for just those groupings. So let's say I had a resource here, but I only wanted one of those groupings to see. So link to a file or website. Maybe I could say class notes. And then I can choose or upload a file. I'm just going to use a file that's already uploaded to the course. Let's pretend this right here is a copy of the class notes. So I'm going to choose it. Scroll down to the bottom, and under this very last section that you'll see, you're going to make it available for group members only, and which group member do I want to see it. The only thing is I can't select both groups. I have to choose one. So I'd have to put it in here twice. I'd have to put it in for Group A and then again for Group M if I wanted both to see it. So I'm just going to call it Group A, and I'm going to save and return to course. And then when you scroll down to where I put the class notes, you'll see in parentheses it says Group A. Those students do not see what it says in parentheses. That part's grayed out, but it helps you as the teacher know which group sees that particular resource. So you can do the same thing with quizzes, forums, all the assignments. You can assign it to just a particular group. So like I said, it's commonly used for students with accommodations who might need additional resources that you don't want the rest of the class to see, but it can also be used for students who have accommodations on the other end. If you want them to have an extra assignment, you can add an assignment in for just them, and they'll be the only ones that see it. So it might sound a little confusing when you get it set up. Hopefully this video helped you. If it didn't, contact your instructional technology support teacher and we'd be happy to get you started. The setup process you only have to do once, and then your students can benefit from it all year long. So it's definitely worth the time that it takes to set up.